I don't care what other people are telling you. When the top gainers are Cat Girl going up 487%, Beta Aqua, Safe Moon Swap, Taco Swap, Path Fund, Heliaco, Hash Panda, Hina Inu, Bomb, Fire Inu, Cat Geek Coin, Dire Wolf. I saw another one today. What was it? It was Baby Doge. I saw another one, Smelly Cat, which is like based off of the song from the old Friends TV show. You don't think we're in a bull market? I mean, this looks like a bull market, tastes like a bull market. Today we're going to be talking about Bitsgap. I just thought this was pretty funny. And top losers: Crypto Village Accelerator, Vanity, Safecoin, Yearn Finance. So like real projects are down. Not all of them. Some of them are memes, and memes going through the roof. What do? I get where the money is. I don't get where the money isn't. So if everyone's going to be trading, if there's going to be tons of money flowing into Cat Girl Coin, I'm going to stand in the way. I'm going to grab a hold of that money. I'm going to try to become the merchant every single chance I can, and profit from it and bring that energy back to Bitcoin, back to Monero, back to our better projects, back to the things we love. So very, very interesting times indeed. Check this out. Top 15 coins by popularity on CoinMarketCap in May. Shiba Inu was number 1, Safe Moon number 2, Dogecoin number 4, Kishu Inu number 6. So we got Bitcoin. What is that? Down to number 7. And as far as change in price, pretty funny. Polygon at least made the top 9, so we got at least a few real cryptos still in there. BitTorrent, nice, made it. Chia, Akita, Feg token, pretty funny. Hall of Coins are shitcoins, clearly showing the gambling taste of the world. And someone with their rose-colored glasses on says, the sales representatives did such a good job, especially from SafeMoon and Feg. Oh yes, it was just those sales representatives did such a great job. Now I'm going to agree with this gambling mentality for sure. So, like I was saying, it's been said many times, and there's this one video that was like, gives like the 10 best things, 10 best attributes of real money traders. And it was like the difference between people who make a lot of money and people who say they make a lot of money trading. And the people who are like the real producers, they have like different mindsets, and they're just going over mindsets of those people. And one thing that came up repeatedly was that the shopping example, right? So like a real, a consistent, steady trader who's not looking for, big giant swings to the moon, or maybe they are, but they have some consistent strategy for it. One of the methods that those traders use is to kind of become the checkout counter, right? So if you picture like someone shopping, or a bunch of people shopping, and they're coming in, they're rushing in, they're buying all these crap coins, they got them loaded into their cart, and here's the checkout aisle. If you can kind of get yourself in the mentality of standing in between the checker and the person doing the shopping, and basically create another market there, or maybe, take half their orders, speed things up, that type of stuff, what you're doing is basically putting yourself in the flow of money, right? You're basically becoming the shop, the store, or a middleman in between. And you can do that easily, in this market, but, especially with Bitsgap. Bitsgap, is basically, you get into where everyone else is trading, right, into their zones, and you are making the, where are we at here? That's my spot bots. Let's go to live mode. And by getting in between these people, you are getting in between the market and there, right? You set up all these orders, you set them up ahead, you set them up below. You're basically becoming the checkout counter, right? You're basically becoming the person selling the tools, selling the, and you're just standing in between. It's like, hey, someone's here to buy oranges. Hey, I got oranges for sale, a little bit cheaper than the other guy. I got them all the way up. Come and choose the oranges you want to purchase. And by standing in the way, by standing in between you and the money, you're putting yourself in the flow of money, right? So if you kind of get that mentality any chance you can, of becoming the checkout counter, becoming the checkout person, right? So by doing that, you know, maybe you were not hitting home runs, right? But you can win a game hitting singles and doubles over and over. You can win a game bunting. You can win a game playing really strong defense. You know, my whole point is the home runs, that's not what wins the game. It's the singles and the doubles. That's what wins the game. And so that's why you become the person in between. All right, first part of this video, going to go ahead and update you on the drama with my CashBot challenge. So CashBot challenge, I sent in $1,000 and want to turn that into $5,000. I traded some of these 3x tokens, and somehow just by, even though it said I didn't lose, I ended up with less money. So I had to make a few trades and get back up to the $1,000, which I'm there now. Now, people, look at this trading profit. See, it says bought profit, and it shows like this number. This is trading profit. That's the bot, you know, it's like how many pips were calculated and how many it won. It's not really including like the price at which you sell and the price of which, you know, that when you close the bot and all that good stuff. It's just saying the calculated total per pips that it earned. So it's not really the most exact number for calculating your profit. There's many different ways that you could go about doing that. You can use, what I like to do is use my main, like say for KuCoin or CoinEx, use my main account. If you're not trading it, transfer it out, transfer it to your main account so you can get a better look at what's going on, right? So what I did is I transferred all USDT into my main account except for the $1,000, so I could get a clear look. I'm not worried about their numbers, what they have here. They say how much I have, or, you know, because their numbers, the way that they're configuring them, and it's not exactly the most accurate thing in the entire planet, right? The way I did this was I cleared out the account except for cash, right? So I know exactly where I'm at. I sent in the 1,000, I started trading that, and you can, you know, calculate by what's in your trading account how much you have, right? So here I have XCAD 592 in the bot approximately, and also on JUP USDT I have 440 in the bot approximately. It has earned me $35 thus far on the XCAD one, and on this Jupiter one it's earned me $173 thus far. If you look over here on your balance, you'll see you got some dollars over there. Now it is feeding into these dollars a little bit, but so, you know, cut off 10-20%, and you can see, so let's say 150 bucks on top of that. So I got, you know, I'm over 1,000 here, right? I got 440 plus 590, so well over 1,000, and then plus another 1,000 here. So we're about $150 to $200 up right now on our challenge. We're gonna keep that going. So what happened so far is I had a few bots flip. Like this XCAD USDT, I had to relaunch it twice. See, it went down 5.43%, and then I relaunched it and it went to 6.93% negative. Relaunched it again, and all I did was I gave it a couple more grids, right? So it basically had come up and left me in a situation like that where it was all red, right? And so I just came in and added a couple more green grids and got the thing trading. And I usually do that by trading a couple of these grids, right? So I traded a couple top grids for a couple lower grids and let the thing keep going. That's a great way to rebalance your bots. And you need to rebalance these bots on a regular basis, you know? And if I have my stop loss in here, right? If I have this stop loss down here, a really good thing to do is, like, you know, if it comes out of range but hasn't hit the stop won't even move. If you just turn the bot off, come over and move these grids down, the stop will stay right where it is. You can adjust this bot multiple times and never worry about hitting your stop, right? And you want to keep adjusting it until it hits your stop. And you're like, well, how am I going to calculate profit? You're going to calculate it the way I just told you earlier. You're going to have only, you know, whatever it is, $500 in your account, so you can keep track of everything that's going on. That's how I know I'm up almost 200, right? Okay, so I've reconfigured this just the way this is. Like, it has that stop loss, and I reconfigured it 2 different times. One time I added money in, right? Because I got these bots working together. But first, let's go through the rest of the drama real quick. I put into CoinEx USDT, and I earned $8 there. I went ahead and turned that one off. I had ran that twice. There was this one here. I earned $26, but was down 10%. So added a couple grids gave it back here, let it trade for a while. It earned me back 2.3%, earned me that $8. I wasn't quite about even. I was still a little bit under with those, but earned enough to crank out. Got a couple dollars there. Ran the XCAT a couple times. Nothing too great there. I did earn a little bit on one of them. I did get into this ARX USDT. I ran that twice. And you see, I'm not running these bots long, right? I mean, this one here ran for a day, and then I ran it again and then closed it 2 days later. So I just let it run for 2 days, but it did me good. The ARX earned me $31, so I got 1.3% trading for 1 point. Earned a total of 5.2%, but the price dipped down a little bit. But there you go. And now we're back to where we are now. So let's go back to the spot bots. And so now I am up a couple about 200. And this JUP USDT has really been leading the day. It earned me 39.4% in 1 day and 20 hours. So about half of that per day. Fantastic, man. If you're over 10%, that's really what we're looking for. So we're going to let that one run for a little bit. I think this XCAT has got some good stuff, and it's earned me $35 since I've reconfigured it. So I'm about even now on the XCAT, probably still down just a little bit. But like I said, you get these bots working together, right? So see this JUP USDT and this XCAT bot. This JUP USDT was pumping out dollars. So when this XCAD went out of the range the next time, I didn't sell any of the XCAD. I didn't actually sell any of it either of the times. I just took the money that I earned from JUPUSD and added a couple more lines. So I have them working together. And I do that on a regular basis. So let's just go through this real quick. Like, look at this CTI bot. CTI ETH, right? And then you also have TEL ETH, right? And then you also have UBX ETH, right? And BAX ETH down here, which has earned me 3.85% for 1 month and 11 days. A total of $3,408 in bot profit has been given to me. So what happens? Sometimes some of these bots go out of range, right? You get one that says range. That means it's that means it's dipped, right? It's time to buy. If you've got these bots working together, and we get one that comes out of range, let's click on this TEL ETH. So all of these are cumulatively creating this pile of ETH over here, right? And I'm using them together to buy the dips. So right now I have $317 in ETH. It wasn't there before. I had no ETH. This is from the bots making that money, right? So let's say this TEL ETH one went out of range. I let all those bots work together. They all bought that ETH, right? I use them all to come here and buy this dip. So let's say that the range, had come. Let's see, buying the dip would be that way, right? So let's say it had come and it was just like that, and the bot was out of range. I now use that. I don't have to sell any of that crypto. I use the ETH that all these bots working together had accumulated, and I add me a couple more lines of ETH here, and I start the bot. That's it. And I did that with the XCAD where I just added a couple lines. I didn't have to subtract any lines. But if I want to keep my grid spacing the same, you could just take a couple lines away at the top. You're remaining the same. Off you go to the races, right? Let that thing run. If it comes down below, do it again. You can either sell a couple on the tops, but if the reason I like to get them all working together is because instead of selling these at the top, because we know that things dipped, right? I don't mind selling a couple of these for a couple of these, especially if, all of them have dipped, right? But if I don't have to, if I could just come in and let that ETH, that all of them working together accumulated, and put that down here at the bottom and save all that, that's great, because we know that that bot that ranged is the one that's dipped the most. So we don't really want to sell that crypto, but if you have no choice, it's better than not, than letting the thing go out of range and just sit there. It's left the pasture, it's in your neighbor's fields. You need to bring it back over into your field and get it trading some, right? So back to the cash bots. I was using JUP and XCAD the same way. So as XCAD dropped down and ranged, JUP was pumping, and the JUP was pumping, and I was letting them work together, right? As this dipped and this pumped, I would take the dollars out of this bot and just load them up into lines into this bot. Not bad, right? So one other thing that happens, and this has happened a few different times, and I want to go over this real quick. This is basically about more buying buying low, selling high, right? Selling the rip, buying the dip, right? Buy low on multiple time frames. Go to spot history. I'm going to represent this on this PDEX BTC, right? So I still have this bot running, but what had happened was the bot did very, very well, right? And it pumped. And when you see a nice pump happening, which is what happened on this bot, the bot was like, say in here, trading, and then the whole thing pumped out way outer, like this, basically. It pumped here, and my bot was down here. And I had this little pump indicator turn on here, and it may not. You don't have to, it doesn't even need that. But what that pump indicator is doing is that's something that Bitsgap has put in to kind of protect us, right? So if there's a big, huge wick, Bitsgap could go up here and buy all the crypto, and then it would drop really quick. And now you've bought all this crypto up here, but the bot didn't have a chance to sell it because it dropped too quick. And now you're stuck down here with all this crypto you bought way up there. The bot did the opposite of its job, right? So what Bitsgap has done is they have put in something called pump protection. And when you see a little thing here, you may have seen it. Sometimes it says pump, or it says trailing, or it says range. Range means buy the dip. Trailing means it's going up and it's going to rebuild the grids for you. If it says pump, that might be a good time to manage your bots. And that's what I did on this PDEX ETH here. The PDEX had pumped like this. I turned the bot off and sold half of my PDEX. There's actually more than half the PDEX. I basically reset it up to where there was only 2 red lines, right? So it was something like this is where it had traded to. And I just came in and reconfigured it because, I'm selling the top, right? So as soon as I saw it pump, you see this thing says pump on here, that little pump indicator. This is what I generally do. I come in and I sell. I sell it all and I reconfigure the bot to look like that, right? I still want to have a little exposure to the market, but not a lot of exposure to the market. So one thing you can do is, like, if you want to come in and you want the best entry ever, you don't have to, you could basically use this bot to set a limit order, right? So let's say this chart here, you think you just want to buy these lower wicks, right? You don't have to set it way up here. You could set it way down here and run your bot, right? Run your bot right there, put the trailing up. Look how far the price is way it is. Now, if the price ever dips down to there, it won't start the bot until you hit down here. Now imagine if you did this on 10 bots, right? Say you had 10 grand and you put $1,000 in each bot, and you went to charts that look like this, and you just set yourself up to buy extreme dips like that. And as soon as if it flashed down into this, the bot would start. Now say you set up 10 of those. One of them's going to hit, right? They're all going to, and then you're instantly in profit. Instant profits, because it's going to wick down, hit your little green, and bounce way the freak back up. You're not likely to get a lot of trades, but it is one thing to consider, that you don't have to start the bot right away. You can set it up like this, and when the price reaches your zone, it will start the bot. Not a bad way to go. You got to be super patient to, especially if you're an action junkie like a lot of us are. That might, you'll be sitting there waiting. But when it finally does hit, that's not a bad idea. Anyway, one thing real quick on the buy and the dip. So a lot of times if I have to reset a bot because it ranged out of range, right? The bot, say, went down like this, and it went out of range like this, and it keeps happening to me all the time, right? What I might do is I'll come in here and spread this down, get some of that, but go ahead and spread this gap out a little bit, because that way when it's ranging down, right, let's come to the current price, when it's ranging down here, so you had a whole bunch of bots, and the bots range like that, right? And it's now down here into this zone, and it's not trading at all. What taking those 2 grids and doing that, not a bad thing. And we were at 0.7 before, right? So that's what it was at before. So it went out of range. Say it dipped down, not going up, and it dipped out of range, and you're a little bit worried about it, and you want to, you don't want to sell too much of your crypto up here, but you want it to start trading right away. What you can do is, when you drop this down, spread those out a little bit. Spread them out. It's fine. Spread them out a little bit, and then as it will come down, you can use that Bitcoin to, spread yourself down a little bit further. So another times where that happened was on AXPR. One time AXPR, when it pumped, the pump indicator turned on, which is right here where it says active. The little pump indicator turns on. If I see that pump, to me that means this might be the time to sell, to rebalance the bot to more, to more like this. If you see a pump indicator, that might be a good time to come in and sell it all or not, but you know what I'm saying. You don't have to sell it. You just turn off the bot. The bot will do it for you. And then when you come in to sell it, it will buy and sell as you know. But if it was like this and you saw and a pump indicator happened and you had this big wick up and through here, that might be a good time to come in and reconfigure your bot to that and say, it's going to dip. It ripped up really, really high. It's like this. You're sure it's going to rip. You're sure it's going to dip after that, or pretty sure. It was doing this number here and you had no green left. This is all red. That is a good time when you see a pump like this to come in and change your bot to look like that, right? More exposure or less exposure to the market. So you just sold the top. It's the same thing you're doing when the bot ranges down below and you have to add a couple grid lines, right? And when you're looking like that and you have to do this. It's the same thing when it reaches the top and you reconfigure the other way. You're managing these bots. You're in charge of these bots. So when you see that pump indicator, it's your opportunity to do something. But you could also do nothing. But doing nothing is also a decision, right? You've chosen to do that. And so you've chosen to let the bot make its performance. The more you manage these bots, especially with a clear head, generally the more money you'll make, right? Because as that pumped there, me reconfiguring that PDEX actually boosted my bot up, because when I reset the bot, instead of having like a 0.04 bot, I had a 0.05 bot, or whatever it is. It's this one right there. So instead of having a 0.05 bot, I ended up with a 0.06 bot when I did it, right? So before I did that, I had a 0.054 bot. It pumped, I rebalanced, ended up with more Bitcoin, and at that point I came back with a 0.061 bot. So that worked out pretty good. Okay, so we kind of went through rebalancing the bot at the top for more cash, right? We also, we've in the past gone through buying through the dip the whole way and reconfiguring constantly. We've done that. Okay, we talked about using multiple markets to buy low, to let all, like how I'm doing, like how I did just now, or just with these, the cash bots, with the 2 cash bot tests, right? Now, let's look at this. Let's look at taking profit. So you have your take profit here. Your stop loss becomes your take profit, right? Now you can also use this to, that's where I started the bot, way down there. Pretty neat, huh? So you can also use this to put in a stop loss here, right? Like, let's say I want to put in a stop loss right there. Why would I do that? Well, because I started the bot way down here. When it pumps up, there's this huge pump. I could take the stop loss and put it right there. And you're like, but it's in all this green. True. All I'm doing is making it to where if it continues to go up, I get those gains. But if it drops down, I'm assuming that it's going to drop down farther. And so I closed the bot. Or I had the bot do it, right? By setting a stop loss right here. But when it hits that stop loss and it closes it, I can then rebuy back in down here, restarting the whole bot, and thereby buying, selling high and then buying back in low. And that wouldn't be hard to do. We just take our, point, if we put a stop loss here at 0.06, when it cut down and hit that, if it kept going farther, I would end up with a lot more of the USDT to configure a much bigger bot for that same amount of currency, right? Okay, so I hope all that made sense. I know that the stuff can get a little bit confusing at times. So let's put a stop loss in here at 0.06. If it comes down, I'll do it a little bit lower. Let's put it right here. If it comes down to 0.053, I will automatically take profit on that. But like I said, putting up here is not bad either, because if it hits it, everything's in profit, and you can reconfigure again down here with your profit. So let's go ahead and set it at 0.062, and we'll run our bot from there. So in order to do that, we just come over here, we modify the bot, we put 0.062, modify. Now you will see that right here, and I can grab that and drag that around at will. Cool. It's just picky. Well, there you go. So that's using your stop loss as a take profit. And like I said, once it hits that, boom, I could just come and put in another buy, right? So say you thought a market was gonna dip, you could put your stop loss in right here. You put your stop loss in right here. If it did run, you're still in the money. You could come and grab it and move it up later. But if it drops down and it hits your stop loss and continues dropping down in here, you just take all that same USDT and buy yourself another bot. You'll have more USDT. So we're about $150 up right now on our challenge, and probably going to add that. What I've been doing is adding the extra cash back into these 2 USDT bots, and that's probably what I'll do as we go. Let's see. There was a whole bunch of stuff, other stuff I wanted to talk about with Bitsgap, but I don't know where I put that piece of paper. So we're going to let it go at that. I'll find it and come out with a bunch more stuff. Oh, yeah, I was going to talk about finding the best pairs. I'll hit that on the next one. This video is getting along. Really quick, on the Bitsgap thing, let's go over to my affiliate section. So one of the signal services we're using is looks like it's gonna, I'm not really happy with it that much, and so I really want to get into one of these bigger affiliate, excuse me, I just read this number, affiliate. So I have $500 in my affiliate bonus. Thank you guys. That is going towards you guys though. I'm not keeping that. I'm going to take that and get us into a better signal group. I have a couple signal groups we're in already. They're not the best. I was in the Quibitech one and it was doing good. It was like they had a crystal ball or something. And then over the past month, it's been pretty lame. So there is a couple bigger ones. One particular YouTuber who does the top 7, a guy I've followed for years, does the top 7 cryptos to swing trade for the month. I don't want to say his name or who it is, because what's going to happen is, it's a pretty expensive service, like $1,000 for the year, is I'm going to go in and pay for that service with the money that we have here. And then I'm going to take that money and buy those signals and put them in the Bitsgap group. And that's kind of why the group is private, because one, you guys are helping me pay for it, so you deserve the rewards from that. But also, if that guy, if one of those people finds out that I'm giving those signals to the group, they might cancel me, right? They might cancel me out and be like, hey, that's for you only. You're not allowed to share that with, your public group or whatever. But it's not a public group, it's a private group. But that's why it's private, because I'm using your money to buy all of us amazing signals. I think it's like $1,000 a month or $1,000 a year to get in that group. So I'm going to get in that one. And there's a couple more I got my eyes on that have the type of signals that we need, right? The top 7 freaking altcoins to trade, done by you might know him. His name's BK. That's all I'll say. But I think I want to get into his group with this money, and then I'll share all those signals with you guys. So that's what's going on with all that. It's an exchange of value, right? No one else is doing this. They're keeping this money for themselves and making videos and doing all that. Videos are a lot of work. Having other people keep the referral commissions is not a problem. I like that. They need that. That incentivizes people to help each other. But I'm using this to get us the absolute best signals, and they're gonna make us all stinky dinky rich, right? That's the whole point. Anyway, all right, now this video is definitely way too long. Catch you on the next one. I'm out.